How do you handle when you are being gossiped about? Let's first be clear. This is not about the gossip. This is not about you having a hunch or an inkling or even direct evidence that people are talking shit about you. What it actually is concerning the fallout. It's concerning what that gossip has the ability to do. What gossip has the ability to do, as you likely know, is when you enter a room, people get quiet. You may notice that acquaintances that you were excited to get to know better unfollow you on social media. Or you realize over time that there are certain things that your mutual friends are invited to that you are not invited to. And this can feel distressing. It can feel like a sort of unspoken consensus that people have come to rooted in someone talking shit about you that could have basis in truth or could be completely fabricated. And we're going to talk about how you can navigate the situation. We're not going into toxic positivity and like, oh, it's the best thing that can happen to you. And it's actually a blessing in disguise. Let's actually be here with you in this moment. You wanted connection. It's time to mourn and allow the feelings of grief to come up, maybe the connections that you wanted within that certain community, within that certain subgroup, within that new city. It's just not working out in your favor. You could decide that you're meant to be somewhere else entirely and put yourself in different social situations, a different city, a different group. There are certainly tactical things that you can do physically in this reality. But what I also want you to be aware of is that so much of this being in your awareness is an inner game. And how you win is with the reframe that it is amazing for you or nothing. In what ways have you been settling? In what ways would a previous version of yourself be fine hanging out with a group of friends that talk shit about you, but tolerate your presence? In what ways has a past version of you settled for being tolerated versus celebrated? Okay, so you rubbed someone the wrong way. They seem to have some clout. And these people that are following suit, that let's say you've only had positive interactions with, it's possible that maybe you actually did something that they didn't like, or maybe they're just getting on the bandwagon. Do you want connections and friends that readily cut you out for their own desire to be socially included? The adage says that what people say about you says more about them than you. However, the people that logically know that but don't live by it, do you want to not even be close to, but entertain the idea of devoting time in your precious life to those relationships? These people, let these people leave your life. This is your invitation to not be reactive, but to simply observe. And once you process the grief, it should take about 90 seconds. Maybe you want to meditate, put your hands on your heart. I like to recommend that. Really feel their presence, feel what could have been in that connection, and also know that if people are wishy-washy and following the herd, the tide can always change. They could decide to follow you again. They could decide to unblock you. When you trigger people, it doesn't mean that you're bad or wrong. It simply means that you're a little bit different. You are putting up a mirror of a way that someone in the world could be. Maybe the person on the other end of that mirror doesn't want to be like that. They would not tolerate that in themselves. And maybe it's not even that bad. Maybe it's a little bit quirky, but they just don't like it. And you showing that aspect of, oh my gosh, how dare that person show up in that way? So it may not be overtly hurting anyone, but it's hurting some egos. And that's not your responsibility. What I want you to do is get really nice and comfortable with a smaller social circle. It's less about you reaching out to everyone and more about knowing your innate value and doing what lights you up. Maybe this means exercising regularly if you're not already. Maybe this means engaging in creative projects and not just locking yourself away and then having these creations that you never share. If you paint, go ahead and make an art show happen. And better yet, invite other artists to collaborate. This is your invitation to be the leader that you actually are. It's not about falling into the background because you're not being chosen. It's about shining even brighter so that your people can find you. Let those others clear the way for those that can really appreciate who you are. And while I do encourage you to have gratitude for what leaves, also have gratitude for possible. Allow yourself to, instead of spiraling into this idea of how many people have heard the gossip, how many people are going to be unfollowing you and checking that incessantly, how about you get curious? Now you have some extra time. You're going to fewer parties. You're having maybe less one-on-one time with people. Also, if you do have any friendships at this time, go ahead and make sure that they know that you appreciate them, do nice things for them, not from a place of scarcity and latching on, but from a calm, rooted place, having this sense of trust in something greater than yourself, the thing that put you on this planet, in this reality, and just know that the best is yet to come. Your life is going to get better and better and better. And it's a matter of you trusting the process and knowing that fewer connections does not mean less quality. Oh no, my dear, it could mean the opposite. Let it mean the opposite for you. Get excited. Get excited not just for what's to come, but what's already here. How loved you already are. How connected to your gifts, connected to your unique perspective, connected to your mission in the world. That gossip, I hope about now you're letting it fly right off your shoulders. You have more important things to focus on. Your emotional state, what you create, focusing on watering seeds that want to be watered and that appreciate it and that grow with such lovely, natural, intentional, dedicated growth. Wishing you a beautifully connected day. Until next time.